you the tutorial on how to add texture to polymer clay. This isn't a challenging technique, but it is one that allows you to add another dimension to your clay alongside colour and form that will give you a little bit more depth and interest in your jewellery. So mostly you're going to be experimenting with different objects that you can add texture to your clay with. There's no right or wrong answer with this. It's going to be quite fun to see what you produce. I'm just going to give you a few suggestions on how you might add texture, but I'm pretty sure by just looking around your home, your garden even, you'll find some really interesting things to add texture to your clay. Okay, so here I've got some polymer clay rolled out and ready to go. As you can see, its natural state is a smooth surface, a smooth texture, but we want to change that and experiment with some other textures. There's no right or wrong way of doing this. It's just about playing around and experimenting and hopefully having fun doing so. The first technique I'm going to show you as a way that you can add texture is just to use some of the hand tools that you've already got with your tool set. So you'll notice by looking at the different ends and hopefully the different materials that you've got that there are a range of textures that could be achieved by using these tools. And what I mean by that is literally just using the ends to draw into the clay to see what texture and effects you can get. Okay, so you can just literally scratch into the clay, you could roll tools into the clay, you might even stab the tools into the clay to give you various levels of texture and different shapes and forms. Now don't forget, the beauty of the polymer clay is that if you're not happy with that result or you think you could do better, you can just roll it up and start again. So you're not wasting any materials by creating a sample that you're probably not going to then use into a piece of jewellery. So that's one simple way of adding texture into your clay, is just to use the tools that you've already purchased, you've already got available to you. The other probably more fun way is to explore with different materials that you can find around the house and ideally garden. So what I mean by this is just having a look at what textures you see around the house in different items, materials that you might have lying around. So I popped into my kitchen today and found a piece of bubble wrap that I hadn't popped all the bubbles on. So where I've got the bubbles still, this could be quite fun in creating some texture in the clay. And all you need to do is literally just press it into the clay. Oh, starting to burst the bubbles doing that. And then hopefully you'll be left with the print of the bubble wrap on the clay. You can even see some fine details of the plastic as well. So that could be a way of adding texture. Ideally, if you have a garden, you should be able to find quite a range of different materials that you could use. So leaves or flower petals are fantastic. I've picked one off of my rose earlier. Now, what I would say is if you're using leaves or petals to add texture, the top of the leaf, the bit that you see, actually doesn't tend to have as much texture as the underneath. When you turn it over, the veins are much more prominent, and this is going to obviously help to give a much more positive effect in terms of texture in your clay. So when you're pressing it down into your clay, have it right side up so that the veins are pushing down into the clay and leaving a nice indent. Now you want to be careful removing it because you don't want to mess up the clay or ruin the imprint. So I'm just going to peel it away, and hopefully you're left with a rose imprint. A rose leaf imprint you can just about see. Now obviously if you'd been trying to use your tools to draw in a leaf imprint to clay, one, it would take you a long time, and two, it would be very difficult to get it looking that realistic. So it's again another very quick, easy technique for adding detail and design into your jewellery. What you would need to do at this point though, you've obviously got all this excess polymer clay around the leaf. You'd probably want to cut that away, maybe use one of your silicone tools to then smooth over the edges, smooth around the edges, and then to finally ensure that it could be something that you could turn into a piece of jewellery, like a pendant or part of a pair of earrings. You'd need to make sure you've created a hole like you did with your beads so that you could thread it onto something later on.